Chhattisgarh is not the most famous state in India, far from it. On the other hand, it is one of the most recent, created in 2000 following the partition of Madhya Pradesh, and one of the most authentic. It is also the state on the subcontinent with the largest number of protected forests, 40% of its territory. We then understand why Chhattisgarh is sometimes nicknamed the Amazon of India. There we come across a very large number of Adivasis, literally first inhabitants. These Indian aborigines live in forests and remote areas in sedentary groups and are essentially hunter-gatherers. The Bastar region, former kingdom of the same name, has no less than 8 different tribal communities, spread across 3,500 villages. Each of them has its own history and rich and distinctive culture of music, dance, clothing, and food. What is common to all is a simple, basic way of life, in tune with nature, which has changed little over the centuries. For our second trip to Chhattisgarh, it is precisely this region that we decided to go to on the occasion of a major festival for this state, Dussehra. It is dedicated to Devi Danteshwari, the indigenous goddess of the region, and has its roots in tribal culture. Dussehra lasts for almost 75 days in Chhattisgarh, but the last 10 are the most important, and especially the last 2 days. From Delhi, an internal flight takes us to Raipur, the state capital, at the end of the day. The next day, after a briefing with our guide, Manas, the driver joins us, and we take the road towards the south and Jagdalpur, the main city of Bastar. Rajim, 45 kilometers south of Raipur, an ancient city located at the point of convergence of 3 rivers, is one of the most sacred places in Chhattisgarh. Every year, thousands of pilgrims come to gather there during a Rajim Mela, a sort of small Kumbh Mela, and take ritual baths. The Sri Rajiv Lochan temple is said to have been built around the year 700. It is dedicated to Vishnu, the protector god of the universe. Its sanctuary is located in the center of the complex. Its stone pillars are beautifully engraved with sculptures depicting various deities from Hindu mythology. Pilgrims and pujas take place there throughout the day. Chhattisgarh's markets are weekly and almost all take place on a different day of the week. That of Lohandiguda, the largest in the district, is held on Friday. Several Aboriginal tribes from nearby villages meet there to sell and/or buy local craft products. Pottery, basketry, dokras, metal objects or figurines cast in wax, and of course, food and alcohol. The next day in the morning, we reach the village of Kodana, west of Jagdalpur, homeland of the Dandami Maria tribe. It is a group of earth and mud houses lost in a forest at the end of a pedestrian path. The Muria are particularly identifiable during celebrations and festivals because, like other minorities, they dress in their own tribal clothing and have their specific ritual dances. The men wear a headgear made of a pair of buffalo horns and top it with rare feathers, which earned them the nickname Buffalo Horn Muria. Girls' buns are decorated with red, blue, and white ribbons, wooden combs, and hairpins. They wear many rows of colorful beads around their foreheads, adorn their necks with necklaces made of coins, and also wear glass bracelets. Each dancer carries a stick to which small bells are attached, but also several sharp metal points. The boys move forward and backward in a semicircle, and the girls follow in their footsteps. When the drums and bells synchronize to produce rhythmic music, the girls begin to sing in very low voices. Numerous strands of cowrie shells hang from the men's headgear, hiding the dancers' faces from the gaze of spectators. A cylindrical drum, made of a hollowed-out tree trunk almost a meter wide, is attached to their waist, with which it punctuates the participants' steps. The Sonarpur market is particularly active. You can find everything there: fruits, vegetables, spices, fishing fillets, fish, mahua alcohol, in a riot of colors and a very serene atmosphere. "50 kilometers from Jagdalpur, located on the Indravati River, the Chitrakoot waterfalls, 30-meter high, are known to be the widest in India. They reach almost 300 meters during the monsoon. They are often compared to Niagara Falls due to their horseshoe shape. It is a very popular place for Indians, who come in large numbers to picnic or have their photos taken. We stop on the road to Naranpur to attend a puja, adoration of a sacred image, accompanied by offerings. At the entrance to a village, in a temple improvised for the period of the Dussehra festival. The villages of Bastar are scattered in the countryside or the forest, and their houses are frequently surrounded by high, dry stone walls. The women are in the fields, busy haying. The Naranpur market is in full swing when we arrive. This is the Abhuj Muria region, one of the most primitive tribes of Bastar, who are distributed in the northwestern part of the district called Abhuj Mar. They live exclusively from panda, swidden cultivation, hunting and fishing, and have only recently adopted sedentary culture. Rooster fighting is one of the passions of Indians, particularly in the state of Chhattisgarh, although it is officially banned throughout the country. It consists of releasing, in a sort of circular ring, 2 roosters whose lugs have been cut and are replaced by steel lugs. The rooster is prepared a few minutes before the confrontation. Its lugs, which have been cut, are replaced by a double steel lug, longer and extremely sharp, which the owner chooses with care and carefully attaches to one of the legs. Bets are launched, money changes hands, and tempers heat up. The 2 roosters are then presented face to face and engage in a fierce, short, and quick fight, which most of the time results in the death of one of the 2 adversaries. It is a cruel spectacle, which we do not condone, but which we report because this practice is still part of the customs in the state of Odisha and Chhattisgarh, in this part of India. Here, a display of clusters of red ants presented in tree leaves sewn into cups. They are intended for making the famous red ant chutney, called chapra, an essential dish here. Another day, another tribe. A handful of houses are scattered across the lowland forest area of Narayanpur and Kondagaon. Women cook for the day's festivities in Kokodi. It is a village of the Muria tribe, a subgroup of the Gond tribe. This name means native. The Murias are a minority who still follow the tradition of Gotul. The Gotul is a community house, in reality a dormitory in which adolescents meet with a certain sexual freedom. Boys and girls meet there, sleep together, and change partners frequently. They then choose the person they will marry and leave the Gothel to live somewhere in the village. The small village temple dedicated to the goddess Danteshwari is very visited during the Dussehra festival. The Murias have several ritual dances, the Dito and Dana, or stilt dance, and the Gothel dance, which they perform for us in a field near the village. A puja is in progress in one of the rooms of the house of the shaman of Kokodi. We allow ourselves to enter the building to discreetly attend the rite.
Om Kasapasudai Samiti Givaya Padabhrashtam Matrahinam Chayat Bhavit Tattvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Gita Mataram Vande Deva Mataram Vande Vishwamataram.
The Narayanpur market in the heart of the Abhuj Muria region takes place every Sunday from midday. It was in full swing when we arrived. It's over 30 degrees. We wander among stalls stacked with fried foods, honey cakes, spices, and vegetables. In the middle of the afternoon, when the sun is already low on the horizon, we reach Chhattisgarh, the village of ironworkers. Wrought iron craftsmanship is famous far beyond the Bastar region. This skill is passed down from generation to generation. It originally comes from the community of blacksmiths who made agricultural and hunting instruments for the tribes. Over the years, the profession has gradually evolved into an artistic form. Blacksmiths experimented with religious art forms. They then created wrought iron lamps, diya, decorated with different designs. Then they created figurines of all kinds. Characters, birds, land animals, masks. Despite the simplistic shapes, the aesthetic appeal is undeniable. Nagarnayar, the potter's village. Like the art of wrought iron, lost wax bronze, or wood sculptures, the Bastar region is renowned for its art of terracotta pottery. Here, everyone works with clay. The mixture is first smoothed with a stick to extract the slag. Then it is softened by hand. The hand wheel allows the potter to form the general appearance of the pot being created. Refining the structure is done delicately with the fingertips. Once the pot is finished without the bottom, it is placed in the sun for initial drying. Before it is completely dry, its surface is hammered with a regularly moistened wooden pad and at the same time protected in parallel by a flat stone inside to seal the bottom and patinate the pot. Sometimes lines are drawn during filming using a sharpened piece of bamboo. Some potters model statuettes. The art of Rangoli is part of daily life in India. This type of drawing, made by women on thresholds or in the courtyards of houses, is a must for Diwali. They first trace the outline of the geometric patterns using a white powder, usually limestone or rice, before filling it in with a series of lines. The rangoli protect the family or sacred place. They are passed down from mother to daughter. The Deota temple is lost in the forest, halfway between Jagdalpur and Kondagaon. It is surrounded by numerous banyan trees whose gigantic roots intertwine all around it. Thousands of statuettes of offerings to the deities are piled up on the path that leads there. Some musicians play when visitors arrive. Although it is away from the villages, pujas take place there continuously. Collections and offerings follow one another in an atmosphere of strong religious fervor. The Paknar market takes place every Tuesday. Basketry and weaving are very present there. Jagdalpur, capital of Bastar, the most important day of Dussehra festival. All the tribes of the region gathered in the city to celebrate Danteshwari. The temple of the goddess is located within the royal palace, remarkably illuminated for the occasion. Each tribe designates its shamans, men or women, considered to have the gift of communicating with spirits. As soon as night falls, the crowd thickens in front of the palace. The Mohari drums, bells, and clarinets set the rhythm to chant the incantations to the goddess. Standards, banners, ornaments of musical instruments, everything is red and gold. The shamans, also called Angas, believed to be the intermediaries between humans and the divinities, wear wooden palanquins decorated with feathers, shells, and embroidered fabrics symbolically representing the goddess. The processions take place in the afternoon on the square of the royal palace. The Dandami Maria tribe performs the buffalo dance, while the palanquins circle tirelessly on the esplanade and within the palace grounds. The Angas go into a trance to the sound of percussion, performing circular or disorderly movements, sometimes rushing into the crowd with their eyes closed, their heads back, strongly helped by local alcohols such as Malpua or Salfi. These dances aim to chase away evil spirits. Itinerary is the highlight of the festival. This is the moment when the goddess Danteshwari is taken in procession through the city on an immense chariot weighing several tons, with 8 wheels, each 1 meter in diameter, pulled by members of the Dandami Maria tribe. A frenzy grips the entire crowd. More than 400 kilometers north of Jagdalpur, in the district of Kabirdham, the 1,000-year-old temple of Boramdeo is hidden in the heart of the Michael Hills. Dedicated to Lord Shiva, it was built between the 7th and 11th centuries. Its architecture is remarkable because of its similarity with the temples of Madhya Pradesh. Boramdeo is also called the Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh. The most extraordinary aspect of the temple is its lingam-style spire, built on pillars engraved with erotic sculptures so similar to those at Khajuraho. The temple has 3 doors that open in different directions. The entrance gate of the temple faces east, the second door opens to the south, and the third to the north. The doors are decorated with images of mythological figures about 1 or 2 feet high. It is in this district of Chhattisgarh that we come across the Baiga minority. Among the poorest tribes, they live from cattle breeding, shifting cultivation in forest areas, and hunting. They do not interact with other tribes, because interaction with any other tribe is a crime for them. After a death in the family, the Baigas leave their house and build another. We enter one of the houses in the village of Taragaon, on the threshold of which freshly painted pottery is drying in the sun. In one of the rooms, a young girl finishes decorating pots painted in different colors. In the neighboring house, there is a young boy who paints divine figurines in series. The Taragaon market, which takes place every Friday, welcomes the vast majority of the Baiga minority. The Baiga give tattoos a central place in their way of life. The tattoo is the only thing that remains after death. This is the only tribe where women's bodies are completely tattooed. These tattoos have a relationship with their religion, their gods and goddesses, but the tattoos are also considered painted jewelry too expensive for the Baiga to acquire. And it is in a small restaurant in the market of Taragaon, where we are served Indian chai between two fried foods, that we end this foray into the heart of the tribal lands of Chhattisgarh.